Hi, we're Fossil Crates. I'm Dr. Brian Curtice.
And I'm Jacob Jett.
And we are paleontologists here at Fossil Crates out on location in Montana in the Judith River Formation looking for fossils. Today we want to talk to you about the dangers and excitement that comes from looking for fossils.
That's right. It's not all about having a good time. Sometimes it's about running for your life.
For example, tumbling, trying to run and falling. Happens. Got out of the truck, few steps, hidden hole, busted ankle.
A lot of our terrain out here is pretty rough, and there's a lot of bentonite in these rocks, which is a mineral that, when it gets wet from even the tiniest little bit of rain, turns the entire hillside into a James Bond style oil slick.
And you haven't lived until you're sliding down a bentonite hill.
And when you get to the bottom, if you survive it and you don't have any broken bones, you're still covered in mud.
And prairie rattlers. Haven't mentioned them yet, but occasionally they'll even rattle at you. But rarely, but they're there.
I don't think prairie rattlers are quite as scary as everybody says. I think they're pretty cute. Just don't pick them up.
Scorpions.
I've been stung by scorpions out here, but they're mostly northern scorpions, so it just hurts and feels really hot for about 5 minutes, and then you go back to working.
Black widows.
Yeah, gets are out here. I've never seen one.
I saw a number of black widow nests, or not nests, but the webbing. They have a chaotic mesh pattern. I also saw some kind of orb weaver spider yesterday as well.
Those are pretty cool.
It was really cool.
So we look out for bugs. There are ticks. There are mosquitoes and gnats.
Biting flies. We just got buzzed by a bee. That was pretty exciting because it was a big bee.
I don't know. I like bees. I think they're kind of cute.
I like the letter B.
Today's episode is brought to you by the letter B.
And Aunt Bee, who makes great cookies. BC. So, other dangers we run across out here, and probably the most dangerous, by far, humans. So, day one, you don't go right to the field. Oh no. You need to alert people that you're out here.
An important part of doing any kind of field paleontology is making sure you have permission to work on the ground you're looking at. Always get written permission. Even when you have that permission in writing, when you come to an area that you haven't been to in a little while, it's good to call up the locals, knock on their door, let them know that you're in the area. This is important so that they know you're there, so they don't get upset at some stranger wandering around out in the Badlands. And it's also important so that people know you're generally in the area, so if something bad happens to you, they can come looking for you when something goes wrong.
And things go wrong. Car batteries don't start. We ran across yesterday a forest fire that caused our day to end a little early because we needed to get back to the main road lest we be consumed in a conflagration.
Yeah, car problems are a big issue out here. I've changed tires. People ask me what it takes to be a paleontologist, and I tell them learn to change a tire in the worst circumstances you can think of. So a lot of times I've blown a tire. We just blew a tire 3 days ago, and it's a complete wash. But sometimes you'll actually puncture a tire when you're out in a field, and when you try to use the bottle jack, the ground is too soft and it just sinks into the ground. So you have to figure out and kind of MacGyver your way through how to get through those scenarios. But you'll change a tire probably 5-6 times a summer.
Ants. You may have saw me jump while he was speaking. There was a large ant that had climbed on me. Another insect that's friendly out here. Beetles of all sorts as well. I saw...
Are those dangerous?
They're not really dangerous.
They're super cool. Beetles are awesome.
There was a bright green one that I'm going to identify. Tons of cool wildlife, birds, hawks, eagles.
See, I think the danger of insects is overstated, but I do think you should be careful of hawks and deer.
Deer. We'll come back to deer someday, very soon. You'll make sure to look for Jacob and the Deer. It's not an 80s sitcom.
That'd be a good one, though.
It would be.
We need a laugh track.
There we go. Now I'll loop that one. What else do we run across out here that's dangerous? Sharp things, spiny things, cacti, and they're little cacti. I'm in Arizona. Our cacti are 30 feet tall. They have arms. They look smiley, and they're waving at you, or they're we surrender. They're called saguaros or saguaros. Carnegie gigantea. However, out here, they're tiny little buggers. So one of the key rules of paleontology is never step backwards without looking first, lest you get rammed into your Achilles heel and weakened by the deep puncture wounds. Sharp bristlewood, greasewood, all kinds of scratchy things. Notice, boots.
I'm not wearing shorts.
No, that would be silly. Some people do.
They regret it.
Weather. So all manner of troubles with weather. So today we have the sun. Mr. Sun is beating down on us mercilessly. and there are no clouds. We are in a gully. There is no wind, and you need to stay hydrated. Conversely, 2 nights ago, we enjoyed our friend the flash flood and the thunderstorm. Gorgeous lightning ripped across the sky, followed by a deluge and downpour. You may have heard us talk about bentonite turning into a James Bond oil slick. Now you got to get back out to the home before the roads become impassable and you get stuck. How many times have you been stuck out here?
Enough.
It's the right answer. It's never pleasant to get stuck because you got to find something to winch on or dig it out. Big hassle. But the upsides, enormous. Why do we do this? Because we're fossil crates. We're looking for fossils. We want to bring the museum home to you. We want to bring it home to us too, which is, we got to find cool things first. So we're out here in this solidified swamp 75 million years ago. The bugs then make the bugs now look harmless. The reptiles then and the amphibians, we have frogs on a small path not too far from us. The amphibians then, much larger, much more dangerous than a frog. The snakes, the crocodiles out here. The crocodiles that walk right down this path.
We're big, really, really big, like Nile crocodile sized, only in Montana.
Half a yellow school bus with the ability to bite he and I in two at the same time.
There were crocs out here that used to actually take down dinosaurs.
So think about that. We know not all dinosaurs were giant, but most of them were pretty good sized. And the crocodile taking them down fearlessly. Talked about the tortoises. Have you seen any kind of tortoises out here?
I've seen a basilamys. It's great big, looks a lot like a modern Aldabra tortoise.
How about any live tortoises? Any kind of
I have not.
testudies
I have not. I've seen a lot of turtles in Kansas, but nothing out here.
Also, other wildlife that roams about. The fastest land mammal of North America.
The prairie goat.
AKA the pronghorn, which, is that Entellocapra?
It's an antelope.
So you've seen them for a moment. They're like ghost antelope. They are flying fast. They often live in herds, and there's bachelor herds. You see a bunch of guys hanging out, minding their own business until the car rounds the corner, and then boom! So why would a land mammal develop 40-plus-mile-an-hour speeds? No reason except for our friend, the American cheetah, AKA the fast jaguar. Faster than the car, which probably drove our good friend the antelope to get faster and faster because only the fastest could survive.